Harry and Meghan fail to understand UK no longer in awe of royals ahead of Spare release. Prince Harry has said he wants his brother and father back while attacking Buckingham Palace over an alleged failure to defend him and his wife before they stepped down as senior royals. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex fail to see British society is no longer deferential, a commentator has claimed. Sean O'Grady, associate editor at The Independent, also writes in an op-ed that neither Harry nor Meghan understand how the media works. Mr. O'Grady's comments come ahead of the publication of the Duke of Sussex's memoir Spare, which hits the shelves on January 10. It also comes after broadcaster CBS and ITV released trailers of bombshell interviews with the Duke. In a series of clips, Harry tells ITV presenter Tom Bradby of leaking and planting of stories in the press as well as his wish for a family not an institution. Mr. O'Grady claims in his op-ed that while Harry and Meghan know what the media is capable of, they do not understand how it works. He concedes the Sussexes were subjected to snobby and racist commentary after a brief honeymoon when Meghan was lauded as a symbol of a modernized House of Windsor. The newspaper chief recalled Elizabeth II calling newspapers' editors in to plead with them personally to give the then Prince of Wales and Diana space. He writes, "She was ignored. We no longer live in a deferential society." The Sussexes are very naive indeed, surprisingly so, if they imagine that the likes of Paul Dacre, supreme ruler of the male titles, Rupert Murdoch or even Jeremy Clarkson are going to take orders from some palace flunky. Mr. O'Grady also comments it is hard to know how accurate Harry's claims of a briefing war against the Sussexes are. He goes on to consider whether Harry and Meghan want a new, revised Megxit deal. The Duke's request to be half in and half out of the royal family was rejected by the late monarch ahead of the Sussexes stepping back from their duties as senior royals. But the associate editor says Harry may want to revise the deal, living in California but carrying out official duties as a senior royal again. Mr. O'Grady concludes his op-ed, if he wants to have his cake and eat it, it's just not possible to be a part-time royal based on another continent. As, with the Leavers and Brexit, Harry and Meghan are suffering a bad case of cakeism. Unfortunately, it is incurable. Filmed in California where the Duke now lives, ITV said Harry, the interview will go into unprecedented depth and detail about his life in and outside of the royal family. Mr. Bradby, a former royal correspondent and a current presenter of ITV News at 10, is a friend of the Sussexes and previously interviewed them for a documentary about their 2019 Africa tour. Meanwhile, Harry has spoken of betrayal by Buckingham Palace while speaking on CBS's 60 Minutes program. In a one-minute extract, Harry says, "Every single time I've tried to do it privately, there have been briefings and leakings and planting of stories against me and my wife. The family motto is never complain, never explain, but it's just a motto. They, Buckingham Palace, will feed or have a conversation with a correspondent, and that correspondent will literally be spoon-fed information and write the story, and at the bottom of it, they will say they have reached out to Buckingham Palace for comment. But the whole story is Buckingham Palace commenting. So when we're being told for the last 6 years, we can't put a statement out to protect you, but you do it for other members of the family, there becomes a point when silence is betrayal." In another brief clip released on Monday, when asked whether he could see himself returning as a full-time member of the royal family, Harry said, "No." CBS has described the full interview as revealing and Harry's book as explosive. It comes after the Duke claimed in his Netflix documentary William broke a promise to him never to leak stories or brief against one another after witnessing the fallout of such actions in their father's office. put a statement out to protect you, but you do it for other members of the family, there becomes a point when silence is betrayal." In another brief clip released on Monday, when asked whether he could see himself returning as a full-time member of the royal family, Harry said, "No." CBS has described the full interview as revealing and Harry's book as explosive. It comes after the Duke claimed in his Netflix documentary William broke a promise to him never to leak stories or brief against one another after witnessing the fallout of such actions in their father's office.